Welcome to LitCast, the podcast covering GCSE literature revision and notes for WJEC. These podcasts are designed to be used as an additional revision tool. There's nothing new or groundbreaking here, just revision notes in an on-the-go friendly format. Using these alone won't guarantee you an A star, but they can help you build your confidence to apply this knowledge to your exam questions and your classwork. With that being said, let's get started. Hello and welcome back to LitCast. In this episode we're going to be talking about Candy from Of Mice and Men. Candy is the oldest ranch hand and he's also weak and has a disability. He lost his right hand in a machine on the farm. He gets gut ache and he's always scratching himself. He's basically a physical wreck. And as a result he is a victim of prejudice because of both his age and his disability. He has the least respected job of all the characters. He's the swamper or the cleaner. He's not respected by the others, and as an example of that would be that no one tries to save his dog from execution. However, you could also argue that they all saw that the dog was old and was weak and frail, and therefore the kindest thing to do would be to kill it. The thing is that the dog in many ways represents the physical condition of Candy, meaning that there's that connection between them taking out the dog and shooting it because it's no use to anyone, and the way that Candy feels perhaps about himself. He's always getting left behind, and he doesn't go with the men when they go into town on Saturday nights, and he doesn't join in when they go off to lynch Lenny either. Candy gives Steinbeck an opportunity to discuss social discrimination based on both age and handicaps, because he represents what happens to everyone who gets old in American society at the time. They are let go, they're canned, they're thrown out, and they're used up. And his greatest fear, Candy's greatest fear, is that once he's no longer able to help with the cleaning, he will be disposed of. Like his dog, he's lived beyond his usefulness, and he's scared that he will meet the same fate, effectively, as his dog. Candy and his dog parallel the relationship of George and Lenny. Like Candy's dog, Lenny depends on George to take care of him and to show him what to do. Candy, like George, is different from the other ranch hands because he has his dog as a constant companion, so someone devoted and loyal to him. When the unfeeling Carlson suggests that Candy's dog be put out of his misery, Candy abdicates the responsibility to Carlson, and he tells George later that he should have shot his dog himself, which foreshadows George's decision to take responsibility for Lenny's death and to be his brother's keeper. And remember, in the exam, when you talk about foreshadowing, it is classed as a structural device. So if you can talk about these ideas of things hinting at the end of the novel and these sort of hints and warnings that something bad will happen at the end, that does count as structure. One of the key turning points for Candy as a character, and one of the times that we really see him change, is when they start to discuss the dream. He's very, very quick to be seduced by George and Lenny's dream, and he offers them all of his money when he's only known them for one day. That just shows how truly desperate he is to find something else in life and to move on and to achieve that small dream that he has of having a bit of land to call his own. One of the reasons why Candy offers to help pay for the ranch is that he wants to own something concrete, a share of his own land, which is his version of the American dream. It also explains why he doesn't want one of Slim's spare puppies. He wants his own dog. He wants ownership. Because of Candy, the dream almost becomes real, so he does provide a significant advancement of the dream and plays a significant role. Candy's down payment causes George to believe that perhaps the dream can be realised, but none of them count on the tragic meeting between Curly's wife and Lenny in the barn. Even then, Candy still thinks he can have his safe haven, or a place where no one will throw him out when he's too old. The dream is so strong in him that he pleads with George to no avail to have their farm despite Lenny's death, and is furious when he finds out what Lenny's done because he knows deep down that the dream is over. So when talking about Candy in an essay and linking him to context, a few points that you could make, and a few kind of links in terms of his representation of characters and stereotypes in the 1930s, would be the loneliness and self-esteem experienced by typical ranch workers, and you could link that to lots of other characters as well. His sexist attitude towards Curly's wife, which again is typical of many ranch workers' sexist attitudes. The idea that most dreams were unattainable. When he goes in with George and Lenny, it seems like it could happen, but it soon fails, as do his prospects of companionship in his old age. He also reflects the racism of the time. Despite admitting Crooks is a nice fella, Candy still often refers to him using casual racist terms. He represents the effects of discrimination, in his case age and disability, because he's powerless against the other men, not included in some of their activities, and also has a very low status as a swamper. And finally, he emphasises the vulnerability of ranch workers as they get older. They were valued for their physical abilities, so as they aged and got weaker, the possibility of being canned became more real. There was no welfare state, so there's no retirement or anyone to look after you once you were unable to complete such physical tasks. So that's just a few things that you could talk about with candy. By no means does it cover everything, but hopefully we'll give you a few more pointers and help build your confidence when you're making some notes. That's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Tune in to the next one. You've been listening to LitCast, the podcast covering GCSE literature revision and notes for WJEC. This podcast is available to download from castbox.com, so if you're listening on YouTube, the link will be in the description below, where you can download these to listen offline on your phone and on the go. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your revision.